What's going on, guys? The video a bunch of been waiting for is finally here. I spent like 8 hours last night finishing my free agency custom rosters, and it is now live here on Xbox Series X or S. So quickly, guys, I'll just kind of show you some of the changes. Obviously, any trades that have happened this summer I put through, along with all the free agent signings. Now, having said that, I'm sure I missed some like AHL ones. There's no way this is going to be perfect. There's just so much to kind of keep track of, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. So in terms of the created players, guys, I've actually added Aaron Kivaharju here, supposed to be a top prospect in the 2024 draft, finished defenseman. You can see there he's 15, 68 medium elite. You guys can see his X factors there, his stats. This, of course, is for guys like on PlayStation or whatever who want to copy that. I've also added Cutter Gauthier. I actually kind of totally forgot to add him my last one, but you can see here 17, 76 medium elite. He did go 5th overall to Philadelphia Flyers. Now, in regards to the 2022 draft class, they're all still going to be in the draft. I don't have them on the teams that picked them, as I think I mentioned in another video. For Shane Wright, for instance, you'd have to remake him as a custom player, and it's just a lot of work. You then have to make sure to get rid of the actual Shane Wright. I would rather just leave them in the game, especially too. That way the 2022 draft picks actually matter. Otherwise, all that's going to be there is like CPU generated players. So it's a mess if you do it any other way. But Cutter Gauthier here, you guys can see power forward, center / winger. There's a look at his stats and X factors. Also too, guys, I made some changes based on where guys got drafted. So Frank Jazar, for instance, here I put up a couple overall, now is 72. This guy here, George Federos, I want to say. Hopefully I didn't pronounce his name wrong. He was a 3rd round pick by the Stars. Now, someone actually asked me in the comments to add him to the game as he's like one of their best friends. So he's on the game, 17, 60. Low top 4 again. I think that's pretty fair for a 3rd round pick. Logan Cooley, for instance, now is 77 overall after getting drafted 3rd overall by the Coyotes. I think Shane Wright and Slavkovsky are both 78 medium elite. I feel like if Wright was high elite, he definitely would have went 1st overall, which wasn't the case. And because, it was such a toss-up till the final minutes, I decided to have them the same rating and potential. If you guys missed it last time, Michael Misa is in the game there as a 14-year-old. I remember last time people asking me how you get him to go in the 2025 draft. All you got to do is make his birthday December 31st for the final year, and I'll have him go in 2025. So really not too tough. Just showing you guys the rest of the custom players there. I don't think I've made any other changes other than ones I pointed out, of course. So next, I'll just kind of show you guys quickly what the rosters are looking like. Honestly, not too many rating potential changes other than some small things. I think Klingberg might have had an extra X factor. If you're worrying about his salary, I had to boost it up to make sure the Ducks hit the salary cap floor. Had to do that, I think, with Buffalo, Arizona, and Chicago as well. So you look here, they got Ryan Strome with this extension. If you go down a bit, Frank Petrano there with the extension. So all the rosters should be pretty accurate. Oli Olevi they signed. I think Lundstrom there's got his extension. Again, I'm pretty happy, guys, with how these turned out. On Arizona, Troy Stetcher got a big contract, but I figured it's not too big of a deal because they actually extended him in real life, so let's make sure basically he'll stay on the team. Boston Bruins there, so Patrice Bergeron's a UFA, but as far as I'm aware, as far as I think people in the know are aware, he's either re-signing with the Bruins or retiring, so it makes sense to leave him on that team. Buffalo Sabres here, for them, Olofsson got the big pay increase to hit that cap floor, but again, everything should look good. Labushkin on the team. Guys I went to KHL, for instance, I think Alex Radulov on Dallas, I just have him like out of the game. Same with retired players. I'll show you guys that later. Of course, Jonathan Huber, Del Mackenzie Weegar, now on the Calgary Flames. Manji Payne's extension. Like, this is about as up-to-date as you could get it, guys. So hopefully everyone enjoys playing franchise with these rosters. Brent Burns on the Hurricanes has the reduced salary. So someone on the Sharks, I think Nico Sturm, I gave the salary retention to try and make the salary cap hits as authentic as I possibly could. So Chicago Blackhawks here. Seth Jones, I just boosted his salary for that 1st year because they're already going to get extended a bunch of money anyway. That kind of just made the most sense to me. And you guys can see after Nasiu, Domi, Blackwell now on the team. Avalanche here. So this was a tough call what to do with Kadri. Do I put him in free agency and just have one team luck out and sign him? Do I leave him on the Avs? But lately everyone's been saying it sounds like he's basically going to the Islanders, done deal. They're just waiting for the Islanders to move out salary. So for that reason, I put Kadri on the Islanders with no extension though. So basically, they kind of get first dibs to re-sign him, and if they don't, he'll be like the #1 free agent that first summer, which is going to be a pretty dead free agent class. Like pretty much every team, their guys re-sign unless they're RFAs. So that'll be fun too when I do start my next franchise to kind of see what happens in that free agency. My card there, 92 medium franchise, is just an absolute beast. And Shushkin, Manson, Lehkonen, all the extensions. Columbus here, of course, now has Johnny Gaudreau, Renski extension, same with Line. Line boosted a bit in rating, also gave him some more X factors. So again, I think these look really good. As I mentioned, Dallas here, no Radulov. But you can see Mason Marchment, of course, now on the team. Now, Red Wings here added a bunch of players. You got Perron, you got Kopp, you got Kublik there, of course, Sherratt and Mata. Edmonton Oilers here, Vander Kane, of course, got the extension. Same with Puljujarvi. They signed Janmark there. I feel like the Oilers are actually pretty nice. So Mike Smith is technically LTIR retired, so he's like a 70 in the AHL. But Koskinen I sent over to Europe. You can see Campbell on the team. For the Panthers here, of course, with Matthew Tkachuk. I actually boosted him to high elite. I think he definitely deserves it now. So it puts him kind of on par with like the Marners, the Rantanens, guys like that, being a low 90 high elite. Like that 23 to 24-year-old age range. LA Kings here, of course, now with Kevin Fiala. Minnesota Wild here, of course, no longer have Fiala. I think they have some extensions there on the team. And of course, 2 in goal. Fleury's a starter with Gustin backing him up after the Talbot trade. So Montreal there, Suzuki is medium elite. They no longer have Petrie on the team. Very interested to see what they do. Their defense is not very good, but their forwards are actually pretty decent. Forsberg extension there on the Predators. McDonough trade. Niederreiter signed. New Jersey Devils here. You got the Brad extension that just happened. Palat's on the team. You guys will notice some players I've done an extension for if it's like a big change in pay. So Brat, for instance, whereas Palat, not much of a change. It saves me some time if I just kind of extend the current contract because EA for some reason doesn't let you input the actual salary. So when it's like 5 million plus, you're literally sitting there for so long. As I mentioned, Islanders now have Kadri. If it ends up being wrong, then you guys can just simply, you know, move him yourself in player movement. It's not too tough, but I decided to put him there because kind of just made the most sense to me for now. Rangers here, of course, and now have Trocheck. I've actually done one pretty big thing. Lafreniere is now medium elite. I feel like after last season, he still hasn't really proven himself to be that first overall pick, so no longer high elite. DeBrincat there on the centers with Claude Giroux. Excited to see what they do. Philadelphia Flyers here. No Johnny Gaudreau, but they do have, you know, Tony DeAngelo there. Who else did they really even sign? That's like, oh yeah, where is it? Nick Deslauriers, 1.75 mil. Pittsburgh Penguins kept their team together. You guys can see that. Added Jeff Petrie. Added, where is he? Ty Smith. So they look to be pretty good as well. San Jose Sharks here, as I mentioned. Where is he? Nico Sturm. So his salary is higher this year and next year to reflect the Brent Burns retention. And Navarro's now on the team. Ferraro just signed an extension today. I made sure to add that. I'm trying to think. They got Lindblom on the team now as well. After them, you got the Kraken, of course, have Bjorkstrand now on the team. Same with Burakovsky. So, you know, they're not looking too bad. Justin Schultz there as well. St. Louis Blues here. I'm trying to think. So one thing I will say, I guess, Robert Thomas, I think I must have already passed him. Yeah, 86 overall. He signed an extension, but it's an extension that kicks in like the season after next. And unfortunately, you can't add an extension to a guy unless he's got 1 year left. So in that case, I decided to just kind of leave his contract and let the computer come up with an extension rather than like kind of screwing them over season early when he shouldn't be getting paid too much. That just kind of seemed like the most fair thing to me. Same thing happens with Tampa Bay with a bunch of their players. Sorelli, Serdichev, Chernik, all signed extensions, but they don't kick in until the season after next. I think I boosted Kucherov's rating, made him a 93 now. Nemestikov now on the team. Maple Leafs here. I'm trying to think if I really did much for them. I guess you had the Giordano extension. Riley actually had to lower his salary for this season because they were over the max. Of course, too, they got new goaltenders there in Samsonov and Murray. Very good to see, you know, how it's going to work out for them in real life this year. Canucks here. I feel like they only made that one signing, Mikheyev. I made him an 82. I still think, you know, 4.75 is too much for him, which is the case for 82, but he was at 80 or 81 before, which is probably too low. Vegas Golden Knights here. They're actually salary cap compliant after trading away Pacioretty for nothing, Dadonov for nothing, so I didn't have to worry about that. You can see the Smith extension there. Washington Capitals. So another thing I didn't really know what to do, Nick Baxtrom. I'm pretty sure it's confirmed not to be playing next season, and his whole NHL career might be done. The thing is, we don't know if that's for sure or not, so it's tough to, like, you know, make him a 70. Like a guy who knows on LTIR the rest of his career, like Shea Weber, for instance, where Baxtrom, you know, might come back after next season. So I ended up lowering his rating a bit. I also lowered his salary a bit because I needed to for Capitals to be salary cap compliant, because in real life, they don't have his salary. So basically, I made him not as much of a factor overall or salary-wise, but he's still there. Again, it's kind of tough, you know, with those calls. What do you really do? Winnipeg Jets here. Their team really didn't have to do much for. Dubois gave him an extension to. Also gave him a zone ability because he is medium elite. Was a 3rd overall pick. So kind of a similar to Line there. But yeah, guys, that's the NHL stuff. Again, I'm really happy with how it turned out. In terms of prospects or whatever, I made some like junior players a bit higher rated, better potential, if they got drafted higher than we expected, or lower for that matter. So for instance here, Kevin Korchinski, he went top 10. He's now 72 high top 4. Before he was like a 64 medium top 4, something like that. Also Reed Schaefer here, now 62 medium top 6, was the last pick in the first round by the Oilers. I think before he was like a 55 AHL top 6 potential. So way off on that one. Again, made sure to kind of go through and reflect the draft as best I could. So for instance, quickly here, guys, if we go to, say, a team like Rogel, you'll see Marco Kasper there, drafted by my Red Wings, 8th overall, now 72 high top 6. Two, I should show you guys some guys that dropped. I believe they're actually on the same team, so pretty easy to show. But Joakim Kamel went, I think, 17th for the Preds. Still medium elite, still 73, but I got rid of his zone ability, as well as one of the Superstar X Factors. So just kind of lowered him a bit, because a lot of people were still saying Kamel was a steal at that spot. Brad Lambert, he was a tough one. He dropped quite a bit, was like taken 28th by the Jets, 30th by the Jets maybe, I think. Left his rating 73, but made his potential low elite, as well as I got rid of the zone ability. So again, trying to reflect the draft as good as I can. I know Jaracek was the guy who definitely needed a boost, people were saying. So if I show you guys him, 76 medium elite, tons of X factors there. I think that's pretty reflective of his draft position, going 6th to Columbus. And in regards to all the current free agents, aside from Bergeron and Kadri, they're simply in free agency for you or any of the AI teams to sign. So Phil Kessel's the best one there, 83 overall. I'm really curious to see what happens with him. Obviously an all-offense guy, but he still had, what, like 50 or 60 points last year? Like, dude can play. After him, you got Stastny, Milano, Murray, they're 82s. Murray, though, has got 60 durability, so if you play with injuries on, he won't be healthy for very long. Rodriguez, Chara, Subban, Dahan, 81s. You got some 80s there. Like a guy like Sam Steele, I still can't believe Ducks let go. So 2380 low top 6. I think that's pretty fair for him. Again, good amount of 80s. And after that, you got a ton of 79s and 78s. But most of them are done growing or like they're a year or two away from that. And then as I mentioned too, guys, anyone who went to the KHL, retired, who just wanted to get out of franchise, I simply put on an international team. So Kazakhstan here, you can see as Suka Rask, Radulov, Getzlav, Brown, Spezza, Keith. These guys are all technically retiring 1 year early, but I feel like it's better than them playing for an extra 5 years longer than they should. Patty Marlowe's there, Kachev, KHL, and Gillies is duplicated. I'm pretty sure he's like the Arizona backup, but he was also somewhere else, so I had to get rid of the duplicate. Sakara there, Coburn, Nielsen, Hutton, Jaros, Semyonov, Morin. So again, Shaw, Boychuk, all these guys retired or over in the KHL. Japan here, you got Braden Holtby. Sounding like he won't play next year, maybe never again, but unlike Baxtrom, he's under contract, so the easiest way was just to get rid of him. Same with Ian Scott there. So there you have it, guys. That is my final NHL 22 custom roster, the free agency update, I'm calling it. Speaking of which, if you guys are trying to find my roster, I would say the easiest way to find it right now would be sorting by newest. So if you guys do that, you'll see there, TacTixHD, free agent roster, my final custom roster with all summer trades and signings. It's already got 15 downloads. This video hasn't even gone up yet. So again, hopefully you guys have fun with that. If you're on Xbox One, PS4, PS5, I mean, it's a lot of work to do everything I've done, so hopefully there is a roster on there that's pretty similar. And again, if you want to add some of my creative prospects, I showed you guys how I made them. So that's it for this video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. New franchise starting tomorrow, hopefully, so stay tuned for that. And as always, guys, if you did enjoy this one, leave that thumbs up. This roster was a lot of work to make, so I would really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the sub button down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a nice day. Goodbye.